Hello and welcome to Wednesday Debate Live with Taghreed Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight we'll be talking about a very interesting topic. We'll be talking Egypt's artificial intelligence strategy. And this is a very trendy topic actually, and this is the future of the country. That's why when launching Egypt's national artificial intelligence strategy, President Sisi had stated that Egypt is keen to embrace the digital era as advancements in technology continue to evolve every day. And these developments definitely create the promising opportunities for laying the foundation for a national economy that is mainly based on the emerging technologies of the fourth industrial revolution, and most notably is artificial intelligence. Egypt launched the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, a very important strategy mainly aiming at attaining the country's developmental goals and playing also a key role in facilitating the regional cooperation, not only with Arab countries, but also with Africa. In line with the new republic's commitment towards sustainable development goals and sustainability, Egypt has formulated a comprehensive vision that includes the fundamentals related to transforming Egypt into this new republic and in the digital society. That's why came the importance of highlighting artificial intelligence. I have all the honor and pleasure of having with us today Professor Dr. Nevine Makram Labib, the Professor of Artificial Intelligence at the National Institute of Planning. Thank you so much for coming, Doctor.
Thank you, dear, for inviting me. It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be here.
A pleasure having you, and together we'll be reading this important headline and also reading Egypt's strategy. Artificial intelligence, as I said, is the future. So we're drawing together the map, the components of the future for Egypt, especially in this important field and in the eyes of an expert and a renowned distinctive professor as you. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about this important topic, but right after watching this report highlighting Egypt's targeting artificial intelligence contribution in the different domains. Let's watch.
Egypt has launched the National Artificial Intelligence AI strategy to exploit such technology to attain the country's sustainable development goals, play a key role in facilitating regional cooperation within the African and Arab regions, and establish Egypt as an active international player in artificial intelligence. This is within the framework of Egypt's keenness to embrace the digital era as advancements in technology continue to evolve every day. In this regard, Egypt targets increasing the artificial intelligence contribution to the GDP to 7.7% by the year 2030. This requires attaining tangible progress in digital transformation and collecting useful data on which the AI applications depend. Recent studies and economic indicators all point to the net positive effect that can be realized from adopting AI into the economy to benefit sustainability from the opportunities AI affords. To this end, Egypt is embarking on developing a national strategy for AI which aims to realize 2030 vision. Applying artificial intelligence to areas such as education or healthcare can facilitate access, overcome staff shortages, and reduce risks and costs. In line with this, the National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence was drafted under the slogan Artificial Intelligence for Development and Prosperity to espouse the development goals of the country. It hinges on the deployment of technology to achieve Egypt's development goals and drive economic growth.
It has been a long path, and while launching Egypt's National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, President Sisi stated that he had mandated the National Council for Artificial Intelligence in order to develop the comprehensive national plan. And this is actually a plan of action that the state has put accordingly in order to clear all the way towards the future while we are talking artificial intelligence. Planning was very important, Dr. Nevine.
Yes,
as a launching pad.
Yes, because we had to follow Egypt's vision. Because, for example, we're talking that by 2030, artificial intelligence is expected to add $15 trillion to global economy.
Yeah.
So this really required some planning in our country. That's why in November 2019, the Egyptian government formed the National Council for Artificial Intelligence. It's embracing the national AI strategy, how we can implement the artificial intelligence in all institutions, all of the government institutions in Egypt.
Yeah. And this was very important to plan, you know, for the future, to work accordingly. And this is what the state actually has done according to the directives of the president in order to find this important place for Egypt within the different global outlook. If you find the different countries all over the world, you find that there is a place for Egypt regionally regarding artificial intelligence.
Yes, especially that Egypt is focusing on healthcare field, on the educational field, and on the administrative reform. These were the 3 top priorities in our country. So we had to plan ahead. How can we implement the artificial intelligence? And that's why we started by implementing the digital transformation. Because in order to be able to apply artificial intelligence techniques, you need to have good data, not noisy data as we call it.
Yeah.
So we had to start by tackling our data and assessing the readiness. Are we ready for this or not? And then making kind of a plan, an action plan for each institution in order to be able to digitize. By digitization, we mean working on the available data, making it in a digital format and in a good format, so as to be able to apply what we call the digital transformation, which is trying to automate the transactions, to automate how we deal with the citizens, and then applying artificial intelligence from a data perspective, as we say.
Yes, applying artificial intelligence from a data perspective, taking from your words, and in a good format, this is very important because, and this is why a plan has been in place so that we would have a good format. And mainly we're all working in order to change people's lives, in order to provide a better quality for people's lives.
To improve the quality
and improve
of
the
life
quality
for
of
all
life.
Citizens. Yes.
How artificial intelligence, in your opinion, is really transformative in a way or another? How does it have an impact on people's life? How can it change and transform lives, everyday use and everyday lives?
Let's focus on the healthcare, for example, healthcare field.
Yeah.
So we witnessed during the COVID area, the Corona area, that although it had very bad impact, but it showed that artificial intelligence is not a luxury, that we had to apply it. So we had many intelligent systems trying to help with the diagnosis of the COVID, and it's still doing this, and trying to kind of work on innovative therapies, working on what we call the personalized medicine and the personalized treatment. So that was very important, and that had a very good impact on people's lives. On the other hand, we witnessed in Egypt what happened in the educational system, because in other countries, things were not that good. So we found out that applying the digital transformation, applying the e-learning, applying the online learning, and the intelligent learning as well, we were able, by using these techniques, to teach our students and to make them learn, although we were not really communicating with them, you know, face to face by that time. And that was not easy for us as educators and as professors.
Yeah.
So you find that artificial intelligence has many benefits.
It has many benefits, and as you've mentioned, during the era of the COVID, and while we are fighting COVID-19, it was essential that we would resort to artificial intelligence, and it had saved lives, definitely, and also for the upgrading of the infrastructure of education. So we reap the fruit of that sense of foundation that we laid, and also the plan of action that the president has directed. Well, we find in our daily lives, and you are a professor also at university, so you get in contact with the youth and the young generation, and the youth and the young generation are always ready, you know, to deal with everything that is digitized and to deal with the smart world their way. They even do it better than we do and have access to that better than we do. How can we encourage the youth, provide incentives for them to include artificial intelligence applications in their daily lives and also in their education? Do we need coaching them to provide them with a sense of awareness of how that is useful?
Yes, we need to start by some awareness programs.
Yeah.
Because the youth are very interested and very fond of technology, as you just mentioned. So we need, first of all, to start by tackling this point from their perspective, not from our perspective. And we need to work on some educational programs. We call them the multidisciplinary programs, trying to apply the artificial intelligence in various domains, trying to educate the youth, and then trying to get them prepared for having a different career. Especially that after coronavirus, we had watched many new jobs, especially in the AI field, in the data science field, in many technological fields. So we have kind of 20,000 new jobs. Yes.
Yes.
That's a big
many
number,
job opportunities.
But we need to make the youth ready. We need to enable them for these jobs, whether by education or by training. But this will start with awareness.
Yeah.
That's the first pillar.
Yes, this is the key word and the magical word, which is awareness, because when I am aware of the importance of something that is going to be trendy in the future, definitely this is going to make me so keen to approach and to know more about its clues. Well, Egypt is really keen and aware as well to keep pace with this trendy revolution, the digitized revolution all over the world. And we've been in contact with different platforms all over the world. It was great to see Sophia in the World Youth Forum and how we are ready to receive technologies. So how do you think this sense of AI, artificial intelligence, changing the pace of the world at large, and Egypt definitely is part and parcel of?
Again, it's changing the pace and it's changing the way any task is performed.
Yeah.
But we have to watch out because it has some
pros
drawbacks.
and cons.
Yes. Like any technology,
Yeah.
it has some pros and it has some cons. But the cons here are very crucial. So we need to focus on the privacy issues. We need to focus on the security issues. And we need to tackle the ethical issues, how we can embed ethics in artificial intelligence systems. That's a debate.
Yes, very much a debate, of course, ethics, and we were talking also about interdisciplinary initiatives, so all are just interrelated. In that issue concerning ethics in artificial intelligence, and we've seen many countries took great strides in that respect before. Many countries of the world and had already been digitized earlier, even prior. So are there lessons taught, in your opinion, from the experiences of those countries, and how are we making use of such opportunities and learning from the lessons taught there?
Yes, definitely. Because many people think that if it's an AI system, then it must be ethical, which is not the case. It can be biased, with or against, and it can be fed by noisy data, again, by bad data, in order to take a bad decision. Let's say.
Do we have calm data and noisy data?
Yes.
We do have.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Okay.
Why is it noisy?
Okay, noisy means that it is incomplete. It's not updated. Sometimes it's not credible.
Okay.
So
we cannot feed the systems with
if you
something
feed the system
not
with
credible.
noisy data, then you will end up having bad decisions, and that's crucial. Again, we're talking about governmental decisions. We're talking about planning. We're talking about strategic decisions. So nowadays, we're talking about, again, the data-driven decision making. So in order to help the decision makers and takers take the suitable decision, you have to rely on good data. That's why we start always by the data, working on the data. That's why I started my talk saying that we have to apply first of all the digitization and then digital transformation, then applying the analytics, which is related to artificial intelligence. But we have to take into consideration that these data should not be biased. That's why we do some validation. I know that I'm using some IT jargon, trying to simplify the terms, but we need to validate the data before analyzing it and providing the decision makers with patterns and predictions and so on to help him or her in the decision-making process.
Yes, very important also to have specialists, to have special cadres. That's why preparing cadres and coaches in that field is very important in order to make sure and safeguard that we are going to have good decisions and that we are going to feed in the right data, not the noisy one, isn't it?
Yes, that's why we start by having some assessment for the data, for the available data, before feeding it into the system. And we end up again by assessing the results before doing any decision making or implementation, or before tackling any points. So we need to make sure that we have the right data, the suitable data, and the suitable decision. Okay.
Do we have like special cadres in the field of artificial intelligence of different categories, especially the youth? Do we have the professionals that work at this field?
Okay, that's what we're working on. These days. We're trying to have the youth, first of all, learn what is artificial intelligence, what is deep learning, what is machine learning, what about the data-driven decision-making. These are kind of new terms. Like, for example, we have nowadays the artificial general intelligence. That's a new term.
Is it different from the term that we are used to deal with?
Yes.
In what way?
When we talk about artificial intelligence, it's either transferring expertise of some domain experts, so it is specific. So we're trying to transfer this knowledge to the machine and trying to make this machine or the system help the decision makers. Or we can make use of huge amounts of data, like what we say, the big data, and apply analytics, not analysis, because analytics is deep analysis, and then coming up with some new trends, some new indicators. But here we're talking about specific domains, whereas in the artificial general intelligence, that's a new trend. We're trying to make the machine or the system learn any task, trying to make the system help the decision maker in any task, not in a specific one. That's why we call it the general intelligence.
Yes, we've been talking about, of course, the rapid adoption of artificial intelligence techniques, especially changing and transforming people's lives, making Egyptians' lives easier. The automation process that has been adopted in the different governmental institutes. All this has been happening, and of course, there are many challenges in the globalization era which led us to accelerate to make Egypt digitized and go into the digital age. What could be the challenges that transforming into artificial intelligence had really made us capable of, facing those challenges boldly, in your opinion?
Okay, let's first discuss the challenges that we faced while trying to implement the artificial intelligence. So we had some technical challenges, let's say not problems, related to the IT infrastructure, related to the lack of talented people and youth, because we needed our people, our developers, to develop these systems. That's why our country focused on the teaching and the learning process. So these were some challenges that we faced while trying to implement the AI. But the major challenge was the human factor. Because you'll find that humans...
Training.
Yes, some of them were really against. We had what we call the AI phobia. Some people were afraid of implementing the artificial intelligence because they felt threatened. They thought that we're trying to replace them.
Because so in a way or another, even in our jobs, they would say that once we are going to find a robot reading the news and sitting also in my place presenting a show. So definitely it's going to be a big challenge worldwide. But this is life, we have to keep pace with the latest technologies and what is happening worldwide regarding, jobs challenge, being threatened that
yes, but,
the implementation might affect the jobs.
You can take a more positive approach.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling that you're threatened, you can feel that you will be supported by some artificial intelligence systems
that will help you.
To help you instead of seeing it as a substitute. No, it's not a replacement. No, it might be able to help you in some domains, in some tasks.
Definitely it will, and for instance, in some tasks where we are talking, as you know, that Egypt has a great opportunity of exposure to the world as we are holding the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, and that is going to be next November. So imagine that we are uniting the world, and we are uniting the world also through artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
This is going also to play a very important role in bringing the world to Egypt and Egypt to the world.
Yes, and we can also discuss in this very important conference and gathering, we can discuss the role of artificial intelligence in the climate change. How can you have some predictions? How can you help the world plan? We started by planning. So how we can help everybody plan for this change. We can be, one step ahead, not waiting for any action and then being reactive. We need to be proactive. And here comes the power of the artificial intelligence and the analytics and the prediction.
Yes, it's the power of artificial intelligence, and it's the power of the New Republic as we enjoy the components of the New Republic. Definitely artificial intelligence and the movement towards this important trend and being in the heart of what and keeping pace of what is happening throughout the world is very important, and this definitely also adds to the sense of competitiveness. Let's watch more about the New Republic in this break. We'll be back. Well, in the components of the New Republic, we have definitely beautiful smart cities actually being established. And I had all the honor of visiting Al Galala city and shooting there, and also in Al Alamein, a new city. Nile TV International has always been in the heart of the new administrative capital as well. Definitely those smart cities are very important in their presence in the way of how we see also Africa is talking with pride about what Egypt has been achieved in the smart cities. Many services are actually needed. We have more than one advanced shipping service launched by the Minister of Communication and Information Technology, like Wassalha, for instance. This service is mainly capitalizing on artificial intelligence and geographic information systems as well. One of the postal logistics services provided by Egypt to serve e-commerce customers and merchants. So whenever you have smart cities, definitely we are going smart. And we need artificial intelligence.
Yes,
right?
Definitely. We need the infrastructure there, and I guess it's already there. We're talking about 30 smart cities in our beloved country. So we're very proud of having this number, this huge number, and we're trying to implement the artificial intelligence there in terms of climate, in terms of transportation. But as we always say, that the most important characteristic of smart cities is the smart citizen.
Right.
Again, we're talking about awareness, about learning, about teaching, because if you have the IT infrastructure and the AI infrastructure as well, and if you have all the technical facilities there, but you don't have a smart citizen who knows how to make use and how to benefit from these facilities, then I guess this will not be beneficial for anyone.
That's very interesting what you're saying, Dr. Nevine, concerning also the smart citizen in a smart city. So how can we reach this conclusion? How am I going to turn into a smart citizen? What sort of incentives would you give me to tell me that your life is going to be better, it's going to transform? In what way can we provide incentives for citizens in order to make them quite interested to become smart ones, smart citizens?
Like what happened with the digital transformation. Whenever you make our lives easier, then this makes us really pro
Yeah.
implementing the artificial intelligence and the technologies. So I guess that's the key, that it should be kind of a win-win situation for our citizen. Or else the citizen feels that maybe you have very nice technologies, but what's in it for me? So you need to highlight the benefits of making use of artificial intelligence, how it can make his or her life easier. Like, for example, in the education process, we can take this an example. If you have what we call the intelligent tutoring systems, if you have kind of customized learning and teaching programs for each learner, whether we're talking about undergraduate students, or even if we're talking about postgrads, or any citizen that you need to educate in this field, then if it's a personalized system, then this makes his life easy in learning this discipline. So we need to highlight the benefits for each learner or for each citizen in order to make them ready to learn more about this discipline, like what we started with, the awareness again.
Yes, again, the awareness, and also the utilization, of AI in the different categories. Nowadays, attending concerts also, you need artificial intelligence in mega soccer matches. Like for instance, Taskarti that issues the fan identification cards for the attendees. So you find artificial intelligence in more than one field, soft power. Everywhere.
I guess it's everywhere.
Yeah.
In all fields, and it's much easier for everyone. And nowadays, the citizens are more likely to make use of these systems. That was not the case when we started.
Yeah.
And they're more likely to make use of the chatbots, for example.
Yeah.
Having some systems that they can deal with as if they're asking any questions to customer service and so on. So that's very, interesting for them. When they try that dealing with these systems instead of dealing with humans, and finding that they can come up with all the answers at any time, it's available 24/7, then that's one of the benefits for them, making their lives easier.
Yes. How can we make use of artificial intelligence in a way or another to fight any sort of cyber attacks, for instance? Sometimes in our smartphones that we use daily and on the spot, we find that they provide, of course, personalized services. However, many, of course, are exposed to hacking. So I guess artificial intelligence will also have a very important role to play to fight corruption and cyber attacks.
Actually, it might be the other way around. Because in order to provide you with some personalized services, I have to know more about you.
So I give you more information about me.
Yes.
And this is the noisy data then.
This is one of the major cons, because in order to provide you with any as
clues,
you just say, yes, then I have to know more about you, your style of life, your personality, your career, and so on. And then I can suggest some services for you. That's why we find that some people are really astonished. And how come that, for example,
so it's a double-edged weapon.
Yes, we found on the Facebook some interesting ads for us. And then we try to explain to them that in order to provide them with these special ads, specific ads, the system had to gather more information about them. And that's the privacy issue.
Yeah.
I just mentioned that the privacy and the confidentiality and the security issues, these are the main challenges for us whenever we're dealing with the AI systems, because these are intelligent systems.
Yes.
And intelligence
so we have to take care, you know, while providing information.
Knowing more about you. Even if you try to take care, like for example with the social networks.
Yeah.
The social networks, it says a lot about you. The photos, your friends, the likes, the comments, and then I have kind of a profile for you. And using this profile, I provide you with special services, but on the other hand, I know more about you.
Yeah.
And that's a threat.
Yes. We're talking about Egypt's new republic, and in about 8 years, Egypt has become a new state. The features of the new republic can be seen everywhere. Egypt is now one of the top 10 fastest growing countries in the terms of digital inclusion, and this is actually a very important component of success, so to speak. So the Digital Egypt initiative also has put the state on the global digitization map. Very important is maximizing the state's competitiveness and also attracting local and foreign investments further. We'll be talking about that and more, and also the link concerning digital economy and improving the quality of people's lives through AI, a very important topic tonight. Stay tuned. It's very important when you integrate artificial intelligence in our lives, and it serves our lives, and it makes lives easier and facilitates our daily lives. Well, what is actually considered to be a big achievement and a story of success for Egypt is concerning, for instance, the different initiatives that we see daily serving Egyptians, especially also in rural areas and in Upper Egypt, like the Decent Life Initiative, the services in the healthcare system, in women's health, in like the 100 Million Saha, also the different projects that are seen throughout the different Egyptian governorates, where you can find all the data. We have access to all data. This is a real accomplishment, Dr. Nevine.
Yes, that was a huge accomplishment, because we needed these data. You cannot apply analytics if you don't have the good data, as we mentioned before.
Yeah.
So with 100 Million Saha, for example, you have very good data that can help the citizens. Like in the planning stage, again, we're talking about getting to know more about our citizens, trying to know the diseases, trying to know the treatments, different treatments, the medical equipment needed, and being able to plan for the next decades. What about the treatments? What about the medicines that should be available for our citizens? What about the equipment? What about the hospitals? Even if we're talking about smart cities and different ways of tackling the medical field.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the hospital in the usual form. We're not talking about buildings. We're talking about providing e-services to our citizens. Then this cannot be accomplished if you don't have the proper data. So with these initiatives, you are able to collect good data, and then to make use of these data in order to provide medical services, educational services, and other services to the citizens. And this will be a major benefit that will make the citizens know how important it is to make use of artificial intelligence.
Yes,
it's a success story.
It is a success story, and we are looking forward to more success stories actually to happen with artificial intelligence people becoming more aware of the importance of having it in our lives, and the key, the magical word is awareness again, as you've mentioned, Dr. Nevine. A final word that you would say, a message on artificial intelligence that you would like to direct to our audience tonight, what would you say? That
artificial intelligence may be a threat, or it may be a tool and support, and that's a choice that you make.
Yes, definitely. I thank you so much, Dr. Nevine Makram Labib, who is a professor of artificial intelligence at the Institute of National Planning. Thank you so much for coming tonight to the debate with Taghreet Hussein live tonight on Nile TV. It has been great having you, and you really clarified more than one important point, always adding value, Dr. Nevine.
Thanks a lot, dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. And that was Wednesday Debate Live with Taghreet Hussein. Many thanks for watching.